Hi, it's Maggie, Irish Gypsy, here to bring you your August 2020 general readings. This is for the first half of August, from the 1st through the 15th. And this reading is for the earth sign of Virgo. Welcome, everyone. I hope, as I always do, that you are safe and well and relatively sane. I thank you for taking the time to tune into these videos today. For all that you've done in support of this channel, whether it's just taking the time to watch the videos, liking, sharing, subscribing, your donations, all of it helps. Every little bit of it helps. So thank you so very much. So this reading is for the earth sign of Virgo for August 1st through the 15th. So that's Virgo sun, moon, rising. If your Venus is in Virgo, if you're cross-watching for a Virgo, it's all relevant, but they are general readings, so they resonate a little differently. Watch all of your signs if you know them. It can just bring in different insights and perspective into what's going on in your life. If any of the readings do resonate with you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading. Just click on the description link below. You'll see some info and contact details. You can email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I can usually respond to your inquiry with more information the same day or the first 24 hours. And in terms of scheduling, it's also done in a fairly timely fashion because I do readings full time and I'm pretty diligent about working with your schedule in mind to get those readings set up, as soon as we can. So email me. I'd be most happy to hear from you. All right, Virgo, let's see what the first half of August has in store for you. For those of you who need to know, want to know, I'm using the Gilded Tarot Royale. Oh, a little bit hoarse today. Okay, Virgo, we begin with the Tower, followed by the Eight of Cups, the Ace of Wands, followed by the Sun. From the bottom of the deck, overall energy for the first half of August is the Nine of Wands. So, struggling through the very tail end of something quite profound and impactful. I mean, we have the Tower, but we also have the Sun. Could be a blessing in disguise for some of you, although for some of you might not see it that way until maybe around the second week or the middle of the month. Overall energy, Nine of Wands. Tens in the tarot represent a cycle closing out, something coming to an end or coming to a fulfillment. The tens, the number 10 in any suit holds the most of the energy of the element of that suit. This is Wands, governed by the element of fire. Sometimes the 9s and 10s can be challenging. The card after this is the Ten of Wands, which shows a man struggling under a very heavy burden, but he's just about ready to be able to lay that burden down. So here in the 9, it represents somebody, Virgo, you, who has been through quite a bit already. They may be feeling like they were very close to wrapping up something, but this group of wands behind this individual can represent one last obstacle, one last hurdle, challenge. Remember, he still needs to gather up all 10 of the wands and continue on. One more point beyond this, but the end is very clear. The end, something coming to an end, is very clear, and a challenging one at that. The Nine of Wands, sometimes called the Wounded Warrior card, because he's been through a number of battles and all he wants to do is be done. And here, Virgo, you may be at a place or facing something, or, maybe you thought you were getting close to wrapping something up and one last thing popped up, and, the sense here is kind of retreating a couple of steps, taking a knee and feeling very tired, discouraged, worn out. How do I get through this? Should just give up? Should I keep going? What do I do? I usually look at this as the 11th hour card. It's darkest before dawn card. The advice with the Nine of Wands is almost always to push through. You're very close to being at the end of something. Now, we have the Tower followed by the Eight of Cups. So the Tower typically represents something unexpected happening, some kind of event or something which comes in unexpectedly and shakes up or even breaks down something that you thought was solid, stable, in place. It can be an actual structure, and sometimes the Tower can represent moving. Some unexpected event that comes in and shakes everything up. It could be a belief system or an ideology as well, and often brings things tumbling down. It's a major arcana card, so it's God, Spirit, your angels, and guides. We have no control over this energy. So the key to understanding and utilizing the energy of cards like the Tower is understanding, first and foremost, it's useless to kind of struggle against this energy because, one, we can't stop it, and it's about kind of going with it. And even if the changes or what is broken down and left behind may be difficult for us to accept, they're always part of a plan. They're always meant to put us on a path of joy and fulfillment, or a path towards joy and fulfillment. So the Tower card represents something coming in that really significantly shakes things up and potentially can be a real life changer or a game changer. Sometimes it can represent the end of something in a way that's very difficult or painful for us. And sometimes it can represent, something, like winning the lottery, or that unexpected marriage proposal that comes out of nowhere, something beautiful which does signify a certain portion of our life coming to an end so a new one can begin. Because that's the key with cards like the Tower and Death. Whatever is ending, it's meant to end so that you can begin again, because in every ending are the seeds for something new. So what accompanies and clarifies it is the Eight of Cups. So somebody leaving, turning their back, walking away, perhaps rather suddenly. It could have been somebody doing this to you, Virgo, or somebody exiting your life, or you exiting their life in a major way. It could also be work, career, and finance, too. It's not clear here. But something, you're having to go through the very last stages of wrapping something up. Looks like it's very challenging. It's probably something that's been in play for quite some time. And then things come to an end, perhaps even an unexpected sort of end, and somebody leaves, somebody walks away. But then, the next card, the cards for the next week, so around the second week of August, we have the Ace of Wands and the Sun. It's quite beautiful. I mean, the Ace of Wands is a new beginning, fueled by fire. Creative, artistic, passionate, exciting energy. Fire is the energy of creation. And it's sitting right next to the Tower. So the Tower is what's leading to this new beginning and this new opportunity. And then we have the Sun, which is sitting right next to the Eight of Cups. So what's actually being left, this is what you're going towards. The Sun, in my opinion, is the most positive card in the tarot, particularly in its ability to influence all the surrounding cards, because just like the real sun, the actual sun when it comes out, it illuminates, it clarifies, it banishes the shadow, it brings warmth, light, love, laughter. It represents an uplifting of energies, a loosening up of restrictive or tight energies, finances or mood, recovering from, going from sickness into health, winter into spring, darkness into light. Is that kind of energy. And so when the Sun card comes out, it affects all the other cards in the spread in a very powerful sort of way. It can boost positive energy. It can lessen negative energy or challenging energy. It's interesting that you have the Sun and the Tower both in the spread, because it does signify, Virgo, that whatever is happening for you in terms of the Tower card, even though for some of you this might be a difficult or challenging, unexpected end to something or leaving of something, it is in fact a blessing, a huge blessing, because it means you're starting over and starting afresh. Some of you, the Tower card may signify something quite beautiful and positive, albeit unexpectedly, coming into your life just when you needed it because you were feeling, tired and discouraged and thinking about giving up. So it's a very powerful and profound time for you, it looks like. Even if you end July and begin the first part of August with a bit of chaos and turmoil, what is being left behind, whether you realize it or not, is exactly what you need in order to move forward into a very beautiful, the beginning or the opportunity for the beginning of a very beautiful new path. So let's clarify the Tower, if we can. I mean, the Tower is meant to be kind of unexpected, so we'll see what Spirit shows us about that. And, of course, this is a general reading, so the details of what's going on in your own particular story is going to vary, but the energy fundamentally remains the same. Okay, Death clarifies the Tower. Wow, Death, the Tower, and the Sun all in the same reading. Virgo, the first 2 weeks of August look like a potentially pretty profound time for you. So there's a major ending, and there's a turning away from something and moving into something different. Because death usually represents a final ending. Most of us don't like to look at death in the physical sense. Although, as my father said, none of us are getting out of this alive. It's something we all have to go through. I mean, it might be, the physical passing away of someone, perhaps someone close to you. For those of you for whom that might resonate, of course, my sincere condolences. For everyone else, and in that sense, I have to say, and this is probably only for just a few people, if this is the passing over of like a loved one or someone close to you, there is some indication here that they've struggled for quite some time, and perhaps you've struggled, in that fight with them. So for others of you, because I'm getting the sensation that whatever this ending is, Virgo, whether it's welcome, not welcome, you're being set free from something. Something is ending and being broken down, and regardless of how you perceive it at the time, you're being set free, so you can almost immediately start off on something new and something beautiful. So all that Spirit is clarifying for us now is that something has come to an end, a complete end. Let's clarify the Eight of Cups. Page of Wands. I really like this because pages can represent messages, news, and in this case it would be pretty exciting, like somebody bursting through the door and saying, guess what? Pages represent being at the introductory path of something too, because they're students, they're apprentices, they're learning, they're just starting out, they're trying to figure out how to take what they're learning and apply it in a practical way. I really like the Page of Wands showing up here because it's interesting. You have 3 major arcana cards so far, 1 cup and 3 wands. So there's a lot of fire here. The Page of Wands is the Page of Fire. So on an energetic level, this can represent starting off on a brand new path, feeling really excited and exuberant and enthusiastic about it. The slate being wiped clean and momentum is in your favor. You're just kind of ready to race on in. And then, of course, we have that Ace of Wands beginning here. You're, again, whatever is ending, it feels like a very mixed bag here. For some of you, this might be a very difficult, very challenging ending of something or a breaking away of something. But almost immediately, you're set off on such a beautiful, bright new path, like right on the tail of all of this happening. So some of you, again, that Tower card might be challenging, and some of you, it might be challenging in a welcome sort of way, like something really beautiful kind of coming in. But again, the energy remains the same. You are almost immediately starting off on a brand new path, and there's a lot of excitement about it. I mean, whatever's being broken down in this tower, Virgo, your next week's energy is the sun, which is an uplifting of all this. And again, there's this kind of sense I get that of being set free. So let's take a look at any final messages. Well, one card just flew right out. The Eight of Swords in reverse. I don't have my glasses on. I had to hold it way out here. The Eight of Swords in reverse. You're being set free. Because in the upright position, this is the last message from Spirit. Almost before I got the words out of my mouth. In the upright position, this represents feeling held hostage. More by something internal than something external. Because swords represent... it's governed by the element of air, which governs our mind. So it's thoughts, ideas, perspectives, belief systems, ideologies, everything that goes on up in here. Nobody's forced her down. Nobody's holding her there. The swords, the gaps between them, she could walk right through them. The chains which are wrapped around her wrist aren't really connected to anything or anyone. She could free herself by just twisting her wrist. Those chains would fall off. She could stand up on her own 2 feet, take the blindfold off, take a look around, and see that the only thing that's holding her there is whatever these swords represent. A belief system, an ideology. I can't change the situation because I'm obligated. I can't change this situation or do what I want to do or free myself because, fill in the blank. Spirit's last message to you, Virgo, for the first half of August is the Eight of Swords in reverse. You're freeing yourself, or you're being set free. And it looks like, God's fingerprints are all over it. Because not only are we looking at 3 major arcana cards here, which signify profound spiritual energies, but they are, of all the major arcana cards, these are some of the most profound cards. I mean, the first half of August, Virgo, looks incredibly, basically life-changing, but in a really positive way. Even if it begins on the challenging side, it ends, and I mean, we're only looking at a very short period of time here, just a couple of weeks. It ends, technically, with the sun and being set free. Interesting card, and when I was shuffling to clarify, I turned the deck upside down, and this is the card at the bottom of the deck, the World, the last major arcana card in the tarot, where the Fool's journey ends, or a specific portion of it ends, completion and moving on to the very next phase. So, endings and beginnings are the theme for you, Virgo, for the first half of August. So that is your reading, Virgo. I hope that you enjoyed it, that you got something useful out of it. Again, if any of these readings do resonate with you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading, just click on that little arrow that pulls down information. You'll see my email address there, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the August mid-month readings. Until then, stay safe and well and as grounded as you can, and I hope to see you back here again soon.